moving on
Zohran,
to this is a good segue to our socialist friend up in New York. So he's catching a lot of heat for this particular video of him. I guess this was something called Men's Day in Brooklyn, Brooklyn, where they had all the like weightlifting stuff out and a bunch of guys bench pressing, etc., on the sidewalk. So they convince him to come in and give his go at, this is apparently 135 pounds that he is attempting to bench press here. Let's take a look.
This is how you move up in the pole. This is how you move up in the pole. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah. Let me get one more. Let me get three. Let me get three. Let me get three. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
I look at that, I'm like, everybody's having a good time. What's the problem? But this became a whole thing.
Unfortunately, amongst fit bros, he's getting it. But I am not a fit bro. I am simply an observer. I would never claim that's stolen
valor.
Fit bro
noticer.
It's stolen valor. But anyway, I'm aware of the discourse in the fitness community, and he's getting ripped apart. Now, I did ask my trainer, and my trainer says it's unfair because they didn't really give him a chance, so we didn't fully get to see whether he could actually do it.
For people who are just listening, the spotter is holding the bar the whole
entire time. Yes.
And so he doesn't fail, but he also doesn't really try, because the spotter is holding the bar the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. So look, I mean, at the same time, politically, it hasn't ended up well, at least for him yet. Eric Adams and a lot of others are capitalizing on this. Here we have Eric Adams. Let's put this on the screen. He says, quote, "A lifetime of hard work versus a silver spoon. The results speak for themselves. The weight of the job is too heavy for Mom Scrawny. The only thing he can lift is your taxes." And I believe Andrew Cuomo has weighed in as well. D3, please. Let's put it up there on the screen. What have we got? Andrew Cuomo, "It's easy to talk. It's hard to carry the burden. This guy can't bench his own body weight, let alone carry the weight of leading the most important city in the world." I actually do want to know how much Cuomo can bench, because if you'll remember, his nipples were often very prominent in his shirts during COVID.
Remember that comment that Trump made?
Of course I do. Yeah. Listen, he was right. He's right and right.
Nipples protruding.
Yeah, it's true. It's gross. All right, it's gross. Put a damn, put a jacket on, man, if that's your physique. Anyway, this has gone quite viral for Mr. Zohran. So anyway, I am curious. I do want to know what Cuomo can bench.
I mean,
and whether Adams is on TRT, because 64 lifting a lot. I mean, I'm skeptical. Personally,
there's a whole dynamic in this campaign that's also like a meme of them trying to come up with the silliest scandals for Zohran. Like there was that whole thing about his college admissions and the box he checked and whatever, all that sort of stuff. Or the other thing that the New York Post loves to do is they love to pull the DSA platform and find something in that and be like, Zohran supports this. Even when he didn't say anything about that.
I literally just fell for that. It was, the headline was like, Zohran
wants to get rid of misdemeanors.
And I was like, man, what an idiot. And I started reading it and I was like, wait, this is the DSA platform. I was like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, he didn't say anything about that, but they'll just pull anything from the DSA platform anyway. So I do think this fits a little bit in that vein of finding the silliest possible things.
Is this going to have impact?
Flailing,
No, it's just funny. I mean, it's personally fun. By the way, I don't bench press at the gym. My trainer doesn't have me do it because he thinks it makes him very injury prone. But I have spoken to him, and I will be doing the 135 challenge. Even though I don't think I've done bench press in 2 years, but I'm going to do it.
I believe in you,
It would be
Saagar.
Pretty embarrassing if I couldn't, consider.
You going to record it?
My body. Yeah, sure. I'll post a video. I'll do it here. I'll do the bench press challenge. I happily will. 130. That's just one plate on each side. I mean, for my size and body weight, I believe I should be able to do 225. That's isn't that the metric? You're supposed to be able to bench your own body weight. The one guy who is the GOAT in this is Jamal Bowman, who we've had here on the show. Because he benched 400 pounds. That's impressive, man. That is very strong. That is genuinely, shockingly impressive.
He is very strong. Maybe we should book Jamal to give us a breakdown on all of this.
Oh,
he's a Zohran supporter.
That's right.
too.
Zoran supporter who can bench 400. Actually we should, especially on his form. Because again, I don't know enough about his form or whatever to see if it.
Jamal Bowman also, we had him on KKF and we had him on our live stream when Zoran won the primary. And he's just in his like giving zero fucks mode too. So he's fun to talk to right now because he will just spill all the tea about what he saw in Congress and his interactions with AIPAC and all of that. So in any case, it'd be fun to hear his thoughts on the race more broadly. At the same time, we've got yet another genuine corruption scandal with regard to Eric Adams. The details of this are so preposterous. We could put this up on the screen. So he has this lady who's affiliated with his campaign who does outreach to the Chinese American community in the city. And so apparently, after some event, she said, oh, meet me over at the Whole Foods because I want to give you something. And so this reporter walks over with Greco, is the Chinese American lady who's the advocate for Adams. And it says, while inside the store, Greco handed the reporter an open bag of chips with the top crumpled closed. The reporter thought it was an offer of a light snack and told Greco more than once she could not accept the chips, but Greco insisted that she keep them. The two parted ways. Before entering a nearby subway station, the reporter opens the bag and discovers a red envelope inside stuffed with cash, at least one $100 bill, several 20s. Reporter then called Greco and said, I can't accept this money, asked if she was still nearby so she could give it back. Greco said she left the area. Reporter told her she had to take the money back. Greco said they could meet at some point in Chinatown. Reporter then texted Greco, I can't take this. When can I give it back to you? She did not get a response. In an interview later Wednesday, The City, that's this publication, asked Greco what her intention was in handing money to the reporter. In response, she'd said she'd made a mistake and apologized over and over. And actually, her specific comments are really funny here. I don't know if we have them, but I'll just go ahead and read them because her explanation is kind of entertaining. She says, quote, I make a mistake. I'm so sorry. It's a culture thing. I don't know. I don't understand. I'm so sorry. I feel so bad right now. I'm so sorry, honey. Then she called the city back, advising that we call her attorney, Stephen Brill, and adding, quote, can we forget about this? I try to be a good person. Please, please, please don't do in the news nothing about me. I just wanted to be her friend. I just wanted to have one good friend. It's nothing. So there you go. Another interesting, let's put Eric Adams' response up on the screen, this guy. You just can't make it up. D5. So there were some other issues with the same Chinese American lady. There was like, she roped a campaign volunteer into helping her remodel her home. She lived at some hotel for months at a time that was supposed to be for formerly incarcerated people. There's all kinds of stuff going on with this lady. In any case, when Mayor Adams was asked about these findings previously, he deflected and downplayed his relationship to Greco, saying he hadn't spoken to her about the allegations. When I see her, I say, ni hao. That's hello, he told the press. So that was his explanation of all of this.
Well, wasn't her defense also, she's like, I'm Chinese. That's just part of our culture.
Yeah, just like Cuomo's Italian.
Yes,
so
Italian.
He's not a sexual harasser, he's just Italian.
Yeah. A little dicey there. Also, if you're gonna bribe somebody, you gotta do more than $140. I mean, what are we doing here?
These are these are local reporters. It's tough times.
Yeah.
This tough times. The news industry's in free fall. Couple $100. I can make a difference.
Adams, he's just one of the greatest to ever do it. I'm gonna miss him. I really am. He was great.
The cartoonish level of corruption with this man.
Yeah,
I long ago lost count. Ross Barkin could break it down for us of the number of aides who were indicted, under investigation. This lady herself had previously been under investigation. I think she had like an FBI raid and her stuff seized previously, if memory serves correctly. But it's just, it's like a throwback. To old school, decades ago levels of big city, machine level corruption. And there was one other thing that was interesting about this, which is after the city gets their bag of cash and reports it all out and reports her to whatever the ethics commission is, et cetera, or law enforcement, then the New York Times publishes this piece that's like, our reporters also saw cash being exchanged in these envelopes from the campaign. And it's like, why didn't you report that?
Totally, I agree. That is the sketchiest.
So weird, right?
I don't know.
I just total lag. You just corruption is just so assumed to be a part of the Adams campaign that they didn't even find it newsworthy?
I've seen a lot of corrupt shit here in Washington. I actually have never seen cash change hands. That's the one thing where everything is supposed to be, oh, here's some free drinks, and here's a free dinner, and you get to come to this, and if you're on your way there, you can ride on my jet if you want. Everything is supposed to be soft. Like, you're not supposed to be able to prove it. Actual cash exchanging hands is wild. That's like Tammany Hall level stuff. So
Adams just needs to launch his own shitcoin.
Yeah, exactly.
So that people can just funnel him cash via that, because that's apparently a thing that politicians can do now, no problem whatsoever. So Zohran, as a little tongue-in-cheek response to this latest scandal from Eric Adams, and also just, I guess, because they came up with this idea, he actually did a citywide scavenger hunt over the weekend, and here is how he announced that.
Hello, my friends. I have to come clean. I have something to hide. Many things, in fact, because we're doing a scavenger hunt. No. Actually, we are doing a scavenger hunt across New York City. When you arrive at the location, look for a campaign volunteer who will mark off your card and give you a clue to the next location. At the first stop, you'll get this card. At the final stop, you'll find a special surprise, not a wad of cash. So make sure you go all the way to the end.
So for those of you who, again, are just listening, he starts with like the bag of chips, and he's like, I've got something to hide here. A reference, and it's the same type of chip in which the envelope of cash had been stuffed. So that's the reference there or whatever. But I love the scavenger hunt thing. I don't know, it's like millennial cringe, I guess people are saying, but I support it. I love the celebration of New York. That's really a key ethos of the Zohran campaign. It's personally making me very nostalgic for the city of New York and for the time period that I lived there. And apparently there's a huge response. We could put this up on the screen, the images, while you say what you thought about it.
On the one hand,
thousands of people who showed up for this freaking thing.
On the one hand, scavenger hunts, Pokemon Go, and all of this stuff is deeply cringe and millennial. On the other, we do have a crisis of community and people going outside and doing things. So I guess
it's so wholesome.
It's kind of like what's it called? Like pickleball. The people in the tennis community really hate pickleball because it's taking over the courts and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's the fastest growing sport in the country. I agree. It looks silly. Every time I play it, I feel a bit silly. I mean, it's kind of fun. It has zero barrier to entry. And, anything that gets people moving, gets outside, is probably a good thing. So anyway, sorry, tennis people. Your courts, we're seizing them. We're taking them over. And I feel similarly about this. Personally, I do think scavenger hunting is cringe. I would not engage. But,
if I was there, I would have done it.
If it gets people outside, it gets people doing something, go for it.
One of my favorite things to do when I lived in the city was just to explore New York.
Yeah,
because you could explore that city and 5 boroughs for your entire life and constantly, every time, find something new, interesting, unexpected, etc. So in the spirit of that, I am a full supporter of the Zohran scavenger hunt.
Well, I mean, look, we didn't say that everything wouldn't be cringe, but it can also be good. So, you never know. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show, ad-free, and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.